do this, huh?
Oh, we got 11 in.
Derp. We are live, ready to talk Tyranids with things and stuff and things and other things and stuff. I cannot explain more so how that is. I'm going to move a large pile of things out of the way of my frame, apparently. And we're going to talk about Tyranid stratagems, Tyranid things and things, all the things that came out. I can't sum it up well enough. It is things. So many things.
And so much stuff. So introduce yourself to the people.
I am Mr. Brad Chester, the youngest man at 40K.
I am Brian Horton, an avid Tyranid player in TO.
I'm juiced. I'm excited that we've got stuff out. The only thing that I really wish we had was some points, sir. As we said pre before we went live here, some of these look really, really cool.
Yeah.
But if they cost $1 billion, it won't really matter.
Yeah, I think part of the issue is, I mean, as we know, we have to wait for points, right? They've pretty much said over the next week and a half, everything will be revealed and we will get everything there. Hey, Nurgle Matt. Very interested and happy to see where everything is. I definitely think with the preview that we've previously seen, we got a good setup for what Tyranids were going to be about, and it looks like they're on their way there. So let's hop into this.
Well, I was disappointed that Rapid Regeneration, basically Catalyst, is now a strat. Because you're burning a CP instead of just casting it as a psychic. Super strong. If you're within a synapse range, it's 5 up Feel No Pain. Without, it's 6 up Feel No Pain. I thought that was really good. I think the 2 CP is way too many to get 5 up critical hits. Maybe there's some combos that'll make it worth 2 CP.
Yeah, I think that's the one that, you know, there may be something at some point in time. I just don't see it right now.
100%. Death Frenzy, meh. Only fighting on a 4-up is something that I just don't want to spend CP on. Fight on Death is always good. Fight on Death sometimes, half the time exactly. Feels like it's going to feel meh sometimes. So I did like the Feel No Pain quite a bit. I wish it was a psychic, of course, but like I thought that was great.
I'm okay with it being a CP because now I don't have to be in a range. I can put it on something like the Van Ryn's Leapers, who are going to be out in front and way up there. It's a good ability. I like it. Considering they're going to get to Heroic Intervention for free, it'll be fun. I actually like that ability a lot. The
Overrun I thought was super interesting. Now, it's a consolidation move up to 6. However, when you get to the third sentence in there, if your unit is within synapse range of your army and not within engagement range of an enemy unit, instead of making the consolidation move, it can instead make a normal move up to 6. That's huge, man, because you can move any direction. You can get behind a wall. You can get, you can hide away. That's a big deal. That is really nice.
I see that being really interesting because you can take a unit of gargoyles, which we'll get to them in a little bit, and have some really neat shenanigans with them because you're able to attach a character to them. So that'll be intriguing.
Yeah, I thought this was really cool. Can Tyranids beat Eldar? That's just crazy talk. But Zoobs wants to know if you made it all the way home or did you need to stop on the way?
Zoobs, I made it home and ran in the house would be the answer to that question.
I felt that that's where we were going with that.
Yeah, so I ate some buffalo chicken pizza for lunch today, and it rapidly kept deciding it didn't want to be inside me.
Yeah. Endless Swarm, get 3+D3 guys back if they're Endless Multitude, which a ton of them are.
Yep.
It's nice. CP, get pros back.
So I really like Endless Swarm. I actually think the the ability to add guys and the fact that when we get to the Turvagon, you're going to be adding some guys gives you some staying power in those units.
Yeah. The Synaptic Insight was kind of cool because you can just slap on a second hyper adaptation, which I did think was kind of cool. I don't know how much I'm going to use it, but it looks very toolboxy kind of thing. So I did like that quite a bit.
Yep. I like that one. I think it'll be very situational, but it's a nice situational tool to have.
Let's talk about some enhancements, even though we don't know how, where, why, who goes on, or how much they would cost.
All right, so Alien Cunning. After both players have deployed their army, select up to 3 units from your army and redeploy them. They don't count towards strategic reserves.
I mean, that feels like just like an auto take, man.
That's just amazing. Yeah. That's so good.
I mean, that's just awesome.
Yeah, I mean, wow, that is, as everyone knows how powerful redeploys are, that is absolutely amazing.
Yeah, it's a gigantic. Extending the synapse to 9 inches outside of 6 inches. Nice. The perfectly adapted. It's reroll a hit, a wound, and a damage. You know, basically reroll one of everything. And it's only once per turn period. So again, meh. I did like adaptive biology. It's the same as it used to be before. Yep. 5 of Feel No Pain.
But I do like that actually it specifically says at the start of any turn, if the bearer has fewer than his starting wounds remaining, it becomes 4 up Feel No Pain.
Yeah, that is true.
Holy durability.
You really want to take that one wound. Not anymore. Just one. I like that a ton. I mean, 2 of these are just amazing. You know what I mean? So,
yeah.
Well, 100%.
I think the 2 of them are auto includes. What my head's telling me is these are going to be point upgrades, right? That you pay for. Alien Cunning and Adaptive are probably going to be in every list.
Yeah, 100%. I can't see it not. Let's go into big beatings here. Winged Hive Tyrant.
So Winged Hive Tyrant. Good movement. Movement 12. Not quite what he was before for movement, but still decent.
A pause on that one. Do you know that it looks like they took like 2-ish inches off almost everyone's movement? Bikes, a bunch of the elder stuff, obviously, besides warp spiders, but a ton of stuff. Basically, they used to be 14 and is now 12, 16. You know what I mean? A lot of things got slightly slower.
I think the reason that, at least in my head, the reason they did that is because they now realize that with the table size shrink, that it's much better to have a slightly slower units.
Agreed on that. It's easier to interact with things too because they can't just totally ignore you.
Yep. So on this one, the toughness is good. The wounds I think is a little low for what they are, but not seeing point totals, don't know. Save of a 2+ on a Winged Hive Tyrant is way better than the old 3+.
Oh yeah.
And OC3 is not bad. I'm good with that. That's a good objective control.
This guy's actually kind of rocking. He's got 6 attacks that are rerolling all wounds with twin linked, strength 9, AP 2, 3 damage, and then he gets 4 extra attacks with the Scything Talons.
Well, so there's the issue, right? So you're going to have the Scything Talons or the Bone Swords, right? It's one or the other. So, or the Scything Talons, sorry. It's one or the other. You can, if it's pick one of these weapons and attack with them, right? Because you get to pick one of your melee weapons.
Well, the one of them is extra attacks, though. So
no. So the if you look at the second page, right?
Go into the second page.
All right. This monster is equipped with Monstrous Bone Sword and Lash Whip and Tyrant Talons. You may swap out for Monstrous Scything Talons, Stranglethorn, or Heavy.
So I could go Tyrant Talons and Monstrous Scything Talons.
Yeah, which gives you
That's not as good. Yeah, it would give you 9 attacks, but they're all the strength 7, 2 damage attacks instead of the 3 damage attacks.
Or you're taking 6 attacks. So do you want a little bit higher of a volume? If you want, 50% more attacks at lower strength, lower damage, it's kind of a flip of the coin on that one. I think it's a really good anti-infantry killer.
Yeah, this guy messes up Marines.
Yeah, it completely messes up Marines. The guns I don't think are super impressive. With the lack of AP on them or the loss of the AP points on them. They're all right. Just they're okay. I would almost want this to be my melee monster. I'm thinking the monstrous scything talons. You're getting 9 attacks and going in and just butchering the small
sweeping some shit. Yep. I agree with Corey on that. Foot Tyrant is so much better, and there he is.
Yep.
+1 toughness. Same save. However, he's got a big ass gun now.
Yeah.
Big old gun.
Mm-hmm.
Now it's a big deal on this because the friendly Tyranid models within 6 inches of this model, all ranged weapons equipped by models in that unit have the assault ability. Yeah. Pretty legit. We'll see in a minute here. Because you can start advancing all over the place, which is pretty boss mode.
Yep. Well, and don't forget the free seat, the free strat,
right,
as well. So that's really good. He is solid. I think he's going to be. I'm assuming that you're going to probably take one of each, just depending upon point cost. You're going to want one to go out and attach stuff and get rid of it. Yeah. And go from there. Matt, I'm a little concerned about knights too, not knowing points on things, because Tyranids do have a little bit of a lack of killing of vehicles.
I love the fact that it just the first comment was, it would be a shame if he got oath, though.
Yeah. Yeah, just point to him. He's dead. Okay, yeah, great.
Tyrannosaurus Rex in the hizzy. Yep. I think this guy's fine. It's going to depend on points. And I hate to say that, but like, if this guy's super cheap, yeah, hell yeah, you're spamming the shit out of him. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, without a doubt.
But like,
so and they can attach. He can attach the Tyrant Guard where the winged one is just kind of out there on his own.
The thing about this is, I was a little disappointed that we didn't have more options for this guy. Either one of them. You kind of just got what you got. You're like, hey, what are my options? You're like, yeah, take that. Fuck yourself.
I mean, he didn't have a ton more options currently in 9th edition. So I'm okay with where he's at. I think they're good, and they kept the 4-up invul save, which I'm fine with.
I mean, that's legit because we don't have a ton of people in that. Let's go to Mr. Swarmlord. I actually thought he was kind of a badass.
Yeah, I agree with you on that one.
I mean, the fact that he's got a flamer, a psychic flamer that gets 3+D6, 2 damage apiece at that point in time. Yeah. Also, you just straight up get a CP from this guy. Yep. Beginning of the turn, CP. Do I have to roll for it? Nah. Let's rob this shit.
Yeah, at the start of your command phase, it's +1 CP. It's fantastic.
And then you can actually screw with your opponent. Only once a battle, though. But, like, you can really wait for that big stratagem in the middle of the game when your opponent only has 2 CP left. And they want to do something. You're like, no. Get +1 CP to that stratagem. It's big.
Well, I mean, if you look at it, like, with the way Overwatch is working now, right? Because Zoomer and I actually did a little test game of the Leviathan box set against each other. And goddamn Overwatch, when trying to move like a swarm of dudes over in and then watching those flame bros just go, oh, you moved over in range and Overwatch you. Oh, you're going to charge now and Overwatch you again. They go, hey, guess what? Overwatch costs you 2 CP now. Yeah, that's going to be brutal. It takes some strategy away from things.
Yeah, it's a big deal on that. Yep. So I think this dude's kind of a beast. Only 8 movement again, so a little bit slower, but he's got some legit abilities on that.
Yeah, I like them both. I think they're both very solid. And his bone swords are, nothing to laugh about because they're twin linked.
Right. He's rerolling all ones. I've seen that a lot.
Yep.
Uncle Broodlord coming in here a little bit less than the other guys. He does have Scout though, man.
He does. He has Scout, which is nice. The fact of what he does with Gene, because he attaches to Gene Stealers, giving them
he gives them devastating wounds. It's huge.
Yeah. The hypnotic gaze is kind of neat.
-1 to hit. You're never going to say that that's bad.
Yeah, I mean that's pretty nice. His weapons, not amazing, but it's devastating wounds with twin links. So I mean, you can't complain.
I'm going to Corey's comment on this. It really looks like some factions will be CP starved, others will be rolling around in it, like Scrooge McDuck's money did in. Oh shit! I think this dude's going to be badass depending on his points. If he's really cheap, I'm going to slap in a big unit of Gene Stealers. Go.
If he's 100 to 120 points, which is I think he was 120 points right now, I'm perfectly fine with him.
I think that would be too much, to be honest with you. Well,
Think
let's see
so?
the points others because he's going to be a fire and forget. Because remember, these guys can't reattach to things.
Oh no, yeah, it's definitely. I mean,
They hit something and they're just.
then we moved on to the Winged Tyranid Prime, which is a beautiful model, by the way.
Devastating
Absolutely
wounds.
gorgeous model.
I have to go back though. Devastating wounds are nuts, and we'll go back. We're going to go down to the Gene Stealers in a second here.
Yeah. So the Winged Tyranid Prime. If you can tell me a reason to play this guy outside of attaching him to gargoyles, please let me know. I was not impressed with this one.
Exploding hits with a unit that I'm never going to shoot with.
Yeah.
He can come back.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
He just didn't do anything for me. His melee weapon doesn't do enough to justify. Unless this guy's like 75 points or less.
He just isn't buff. You know what I mean? Because
Yeah.
gargoyles I'm going to use for move blocking and taking objectives and stuff. So
Yep.
I don't care about the sustain. And we will look at the warriors in a second, but like they just look very meh. So he looked meh.
Yep.
Broodlord looked pretty nasty because I think the Gene Stealers can hit shit pretty fucking hard with devastating wounds.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's true. Also, Zooms goes, Winged Tyranid Prime can't melee down Marines. Yeah.
Yeah, he couldn't. He didn't do anything to Marines.
Also, Termagon. If you've never looked at this model closely, it's gross. Model is so gross. There's just stuff happening.
So like the flesh belly with the heads pushing out, and you can see the outline of the heads is kind of nasty.
Stig's got a point. He goes, always going to shoot the gargoyles. I will shoot the gargoyles. I'm just going to put the gargoyles in the way, and I'm going to steal your objectives and things of that nature. So I just don't care about their output as much. We'll move into those in a second. Those guys are really good.
Yep.
I actually like this Termagon quite a bit if you're running Termagons.
Yes, I agree with you on that one.
Especially because of the fact that he's got lethal hits on him. So you can just spam out trash fire from the Termagants and start putting wounds on things.
Yep. Hey, lethal hits is good. That's a way to force a lot of saves on things, which is really nice. And it's lethal hits depending upon what gun you take with the Termagants. You can get a decent volume of shots. Just depends on what range you're going to go through.
Sorry. I gotta get my chi back together there. I just look at chat, and the first thing I see is Prime model looks like something we're gonna see on a lower body X-ray that a doctor has to remove from someone's butt after they fell on it. So, kinda lost my train of thought there.
I lost mine a little bit after reading that myself. So the thing I really like about the Tervagon, besides all of his buff, is he gives you some anti-vehicle in close combat. The massive crushing claws do some work.
The only thing that sucks is a little bit is with the massive scything talons. If you took that D6 damage, you're going to be sad sometimes.
Yeah, you're going to be sad a lot of the times because we all know we roll 1s and 2s for that the majority of the time.
So,
but the sweep has got a reasonable amount of attacks,
and it's damage too, flat, which I liked a lot. So, I think we're going to see obviously points and whatnot. Old One Eye, baby.
Oh, I kind of like him now.
I've always loved Old One Eye. He's got some of the best
loved
fluffs.
the model. I've always loved the lore. It's just he kept getting nerfed every time I turned around last edition, so you just couldn't run him.
Also,
chat's LVO because I was crazy.
Chat's on fire. Todd coming back with Brad's medical records are supposed to be sealed. Jesus.
Came for the NID preview, stayed for the HIPAA violations. That's fantastic.
So I love him just leading a big ass unit. I don't know if it's going to be legit for points, but
he's going to be leading 2 card effects, right? Because we'll get to that data slate in a little bit. But
I mean, he regains D3 wounds. He's only got 9, so you can smoke him in a turn possibly. But he's got a 5 off Feel No Pain. Those card effects that are with him are rerolling all hits. And the dude's not messing around. He's got a strength 14, AP 3, D6 plus 1 damage. You know what I mean?
And by the way, you're re-rolling when your unit makes an attack. It's not just in close combat that they're re-rolling.
Yeah, it's just attack. Right, exactly.
I mean, there's some interesting thoughts there on how to do that. And come on, that sweep attack, 12 attacks,
It's legit, especially if he's low cost. If he comes in at a lower cost, and it looks like because of his lower wounds and stuff, I could see him being lower cost. Getting full rerolls to hit and with melee and shooting attacks.
Yep.
With people he joins. Again, it'll be how much the card effects cost.
Yep. It looks good though. He looks really solid.
John, 100% on that. The walking Hive Tyrant into a Lehman Russ does 3.6 damage. Yeah, into big shit. They're having some issues. I want to see what the point values are because it looks like you might have to punch them to death.
Yep. All right, so Tyranid Warriors. This is where I got disappointed. I'm not going to lie. Zoobs can attest to this in chat. I own probably more Tyranid Warriors than any other human being on Earth. I love them. I think they're a great model. I have them all the way back to their big, giant, long neck days.
Giant, long neck days.
Yeah, when they were like, all stretched out. But they got kind of eh.
Well, also the fact that you can't do any. We'll go over both of them because they have shooty bug, shooty warriors, and non-shooting warriors. They can shoot and declare charge in a turn which they fell back, which is a big deal. But everything about them seems very, very meh.
Meh. Yep.
Yeah, it's just the BS4. None of their weapons are multi-damage except for the Venom Cannon, which is 2.
And then if you scroll in, the Tyranid Prime's included in there, so there's a unit entry out of the book completely.
Yeah.
Right? So that's a unit entry that, was an HQ choice that now was not a character or a leader or anything like that, and it's just in the unit.
Yeah.
And there's nothing, like, in here, if there was something saying, like, if the Prime's alive, you get something, it's just not there. It felt like that was a missed opportunity.
You know what? We go to the bioweapons guys, the straight, and Todd goes, honestly, Tyranid Warriors are such a disappointment. If they were my children, I'd kick them out. That was amazing, brother. They reroll saves of 1. They reroll hits of 1. They have a 4-up save. No one cares if they reroll the save of 1. I'm just scrolling past these guys. They kind of suck
they're
balls.
Just unfortunate trash.
The thing is I'd rather have these little Termagants, especially if a Termagant's around.
Oh, yeah.
You just
the
have
Termagants have such... That skulking horrors ability is so interesting.
Yeah. You know what I mean? You can just shimmy around. So Skulking Horrors is once per turn when an enemy ends a normal, advance, or fallback unit move within 9 inches of this unit. If they're not engaged, they can just make a normal move up to D6. That's big because you can shenanigan. Anytime you can have extra movement, it's just good, period. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's a big deal on that. And the fact that all of their guns are twin linked, or the spine fists and stuff are twin linked, most of them are 2 shots. You know what I mean? That's a big deal on that. You can get a volume of shots, especially with lethal hits with a Termagant being around.
I mean, and they're OC2, which I'm surprised their OC is that high. I'm not going to lie.
And they're 10 to 20.
Yeah, and I mean, it's 10 to 20, so we did lose 10 models out of a unit there. Before someone freaks out somewhere saying, hey, there's no battle line, going to point out that none of the data sheets they've put out so far have said battle line on them.
This one right here says battle line.
Yeah. Where?
Termagants. Keyword, infantry, battle line. Great Devour.
Initially, it didn't say that when they first put it up.
That's because they probably had to fix it because intern Ted screwed it up.
Yeah. But one of the things I can say is a lot of this, if you look at Age of Sigmar, their stuff that is battle line is in their points costs as well. So in case another data sheet comes out and some battle lines missed somewhere, just to let you folks know.
Yeah. Hormagaunts hauling ass as usual. It'll depend on points because they still hit kind of like a wet noodle. You know what I mean? So the Termagants just seem better. Hormagaunts will get in the way. If I want something to get in the way, though, holy shit, Gargoyles are good.
Well, I mean, the Hormagaunts also do advance and charge.
Right, they're going to get there.
They're going to get there.
My thing is they're not doing a whole lot when they get there.
Just because they're strength 3.
Yeah, and if I want someone to get there and get in the way, holy shit, Gargoyles are better at that.
Oh my god, Gargoyles.
12-inch move, plus D6. They have an assault weapon so they can shoot. As Snake said, I'm shooting them all the time. Yep. But after you move, And your shooting phase, after you've shot, you can make a 6-inch move. Can't charge after that. But man, that is huge. Yeah. You're moving 18 plus D6 with wings and shit that actually get in the way. You can move block the shit out of your opponent.
Yeah. These seem remarkably good. And again, coming down to point cost, I really like them. They've got some very interesting ability. My issue is that you have to get into base contact with them for close combat. That can cause a whole lot of problems. We'll speak about it some other point.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
Matt goes, lethal hits could help the armor dudes. The problem is you're not going to be around them, I don't think. The Termagants are always going to be kind of around the Termagant.
If you pick the imperative that puts lethal hits, right, that's what Matt's talking about, I would assume.
Yeah.
That's where you can get that volume of hits from them where you're going to be rolling, 60.
I might do that, but
10 lethal hits.
But my thing is that the Gargoyles already feel better doing that anyways, though, to be honest. Yeah. They just have more everything. They got more range. They have more ability, usefulness. I love this. Gargoyle is a kid that you love and support as a parent. Warriors of the middle child you'll try to forget. Keeping that bail money out there for him. I think that the Gargoyles are really, really good. Just the ability to control the board is always a big deal. Movement's huge.
Yeah, I think this is one of the star units by far.
Well, let's talk about another star unit, the Toxicreed.
Woohoo! All right, number one, I made Brad play one of these, so it's just funny.
If this model was actually playable, like the model itself, I don't know if anybody hasn't seen this thing, but he's literally holding his arms like this. He's like 9 inches wide and he can't be moved. So he has a legit profile. He chucks mortal wounds out there. He gets in the way. He's got a flamer anti-infantry 2 on his melee and ranged weapons like he did before. It's literally legit. It's just his model is ridiculous looking.
And I like that. I really like the grasping tendrils. It's like, oh, you were gonna fall back on 3 up. No.
3 up. That's a big deal.
Yeah,
that is true. That goes. Can't charge me if you can't charge me if you can't get to base. That is true now. No one is charging the Toxicreed. There's so much shit happening in front of him. I think this is a legit thing. If his model wasn't bad, I think that this guy would be an auto take, to be honest with you. He's just got a good stat line.
Yeah, it's a great stat line. The toughness is good. The wounds are good.
He's OC4.
OC4. The mortal wounds he's going to pump out is going to be good. He doesn't degrade until he's down to 5 wounds. I mean, he just seems really solid.
You know who seems solid? If you're looking to hide your character, these Tyrant Guard are legit, man. They just straight up come with a 5 of Feel No Pain.
Yeah. Yeah, while a character is leading them.
Right. Well, that's the only reason that you're taking them. So I hope that a character's leading them.
Wait. While this character model is leading this unit, that character has Feel No Pain 5.
Oh, boo. I thought that was the unit.
I thought it was the unit too. I just reread it.
Hooked on Phonics, it works for me. I do not like these guys anymore. I'm out.
Yeah.
I'm done with you.
My problem is they went to a save 3+, right?
Yeah.
I mean, granted, they're T8, so don't get me wrong. They're still like hard to wound. They're legit, but I don't know. We'll have to see. I mean, you can spend the CP, give them the 5 up Feel No Pain. Maybe.
Yeah.
Put him in the solid maybe category.
The Neuro Tyrant is really going to depend on his cost.
He's got to be cheap.
Yeah, because he's not hitting shit. But he's legit on everything he does, though. If he leads a unit, add 1 of the hit roll. If the target's battle shock, had 1 of the wound roll. He can dish out 2 different, always within synapse range, which is a big deal when you get into the faster units. And you're -1ing for people's battle shock tests. So, I mean, this dude's got legit rules. It's just he doesn't dish out a lot of pain, so he's more of a support guy. So I think he's going to be really good with the other brain bugs. It's just going to depend on his cost, unfortunately.
Yeah, model looks cool, though.
Yes, he looks sketchy as shit. That is not...
I do like that the 2 little dudes that come with him are just tokens.
Yeah. I like the fact that he can also join Neurogaunts. not just Tyrant Guard.
Yep, Neuronon's Tyrant Guard. Not sure. Again, he is very point cost dependent.
Yeah, 100%. So let's chop down to the old Lictor, who also now looks like Cthulhu for some reason.
Oh, he's always looked like Cthulhu.
I guess I just never looked that close at him.
Yeah. I like the Lictor.
He's got
for a couple reasons. He has fight first, which is super strong. Infiltrate. He has the lone operative word, which is really nice. And he has stealth, so he's -1.
Yeah, he's also got. He can just come into battle with rapid ingress for 0, which is nice. He also has fights first, infiltrate, lone operator, stealth. He's got a decent amount of attacks that all do multi-damage hitting on a 2.
Yep. Good strength.
Yeah, I mean,
and I
don't hate this guy at all.
Yeah. No, as long as he's point costing correctly.
However,
he's going to be an auto.
Let's go into Big Daddy Lictor, though. Uncle Death Leaper. I like this a lot. This dude has wacky rules. Yeah. Both of them have. We did forget. Anytime they kill a character, you get a CP. Kind of cool.
Yeah, it's kind of fun. Fear of the Unseen's a little weird.
Yes.
While an enemy unit is within 6 inches of this model, worsen the leadership characteristics of that unit by 1. In addition, battle shock step of your opponent's command phase. If such an enemy unit is below the starting strength, it must take a battle shock test. So if you've killed one thing out of it, take that battle shock.
Right. Which is not bad, you know what I mean? At -1, they're failing more than half. So
yeah. I mean, it's not bad. He's, as long as he's point costed just about the same as a Lictor, I'll use him.
Yeah, because he's got some goofy rules on this.
Yep.
The Maliceptor. You know what the Maliceptor doesn't now do? 100 mortal wounds.
I mean, I'm not going to pour one out for him because when he had his time in the sun, it was way too bright.
That guy can screw off. I'm still mad about this dude. He hurt me.
Got touched by him in bad places one too many times.
No,
so I really like the Maliceptor. I think his stat line's good. I like that. Psychic Overload seems pretty decent because it's got a good strength, reasonable range, and good damage. I like flat 3 damage.
I like that. I do like this a lot. I don't like his Psychic Aura because it's just goofy bookkeeping. Because if you're within 6 inches, you're -1 to hit. But if the enemy unit is below half strength, subtract 1 from the rune roll. Cool, I guess. It's thematic a little bit, but it's just like, hey, man, how many models you got there? When did it start? Because it's up to you to give those minuses, you know what I mean, to your opponent. Yep. So this feels a little clunky. Cool, but a little clunky. You know what I mean?
I like him. You're going to be throwing him into units. He's going to be, leading the charge out there and running towards stuff. I think in a big bug list, he's going to see play.
Yeah. I have to do Corey's right. Having the psychic keyword feels bad. There are some serious combos coming out on day 1 where you're just going to go take 20 mortals. You're going to go, no, I don't want to. Here's a unit that I'm really wondering what the point cost is going to be. Pyrovores seem like they're going to be awesome if they're really cheap.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's just, again, another... Ignores cover, torrent, twin link, rerolling all your wounds. Strength 6, decent strength. AP 1/1 damage.
Yeah, not bad.
Yeah, I mean,
good line.
If this guy's super cheap, yeah, it'll be awesome. T6, 4 wounds, awkward amount of wounds to take care of. This is going to be a 1,000% points because he's just okay. But if his points are amazing, you're just going to snap him up.
So what is he like? If he's 30 points, he's probably in.
You know what I mean? It depends on what your army looks like, to be honest with you at that point in time. The Horospecs. I actually like this dude quite a lot, man.
This is another one of what I thought was like one of the units that I read and went, oh, I have to paint up that third one.
I mean, one, he's got 14 attacks. Well, I guess besides the shoveling clause. 18 attacks.
18 attacks.
Oh, yeah. I love the fact that his extra attacks also are strength 14. Like bonus.
AP -2, D6 +1 damage. Yeah, it's
I mean,
not
the dude's
bad.
Got some serious shit, but also every time you select a fight, after you attack, if you kill anybody they have to take a battle shock test. You're going to be slamming some serious battle shock
Well,
tests.
it's each enemy unit within
Right.
6 inches has to take a battle shock test.
Yeah, that's a big deal.
Wow, that's massive.
I think this dude's legit. It's going to depend on points again, but everything about him just has a good stat profile. Again, they feel like really good at killing people. I don't know how they're going to do versus vehicles and stuff, because they do not have a lot of. Speaking of anti-infantry, Venomthropes, anti-infantry too.
So this unit lost its -1 to hit aura and gained a give everybody cover.
I thought that is a way downgrade.
But then, right. In addition, though, if they're not monsters, then they get stealth. So it's kind of one of those.
It's 18 or more inches though at that point in time, isn't it?
Yep.
Yeah. So
it's
sometimes
not bad.
It's not bad at all. I just thought a -1 all the time is just legit.
Yeah. And anti-infantry 2+ is fine on a 5 attack, no AP, 1 damage weapon. It's okay.
Oh, hold on. Sorry, guys. Sneaks goes, he's already ready to go with the hard specs. Zach and Hootie are throwing down. Shots fired. Love it. He's talking about things. He goes, those are the good old days. Now I'm a good person that isn't playing 9D cannons.
Okay. Where's the bandwagon?
Oh. Let's talk about Von Ryan's Leapers.
So I like these. I think Fight First is a lot stronger than for them in particular. I wish they had a better. I wish they were a 3+ save, but I'll accept the 4. 3 wounds is reasonable. For these guys, it's going to come down to point costs.
These guys have to be really cheap for me to give a shit, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I like them. I think they're going to have some play because that heroic intervention strat costs nothing for them.
I'll give you that. It's just they feel like a bunch of these other units that have full units are feeling, so I just don't know. Because these guys are only 3 to 6.
Yeah.
So, like, maybe it's going to be, again, this will be points. Corey had a good point because like a lot of these things feel the same-ish. So,
yeah.
Or at least their role. Let's talk about the brain bugs.
Yeah, the neurogaunts. All right, yeah, pass those.
Hey, you can put a neuro tyrant in these guys.
Yeah, that's great. Into these,
and then get him instantly killed.
No save, no nothing. I can't find a reason to take them, I guess is the appropriate answer.
I'll give you that. Oh, Chad, yes, we definitely need more Marine lieutenants. We don't have enough of a line of them. God, there's so many of them.
Yeah, Zoob, don't walk them into flamers. Yeah, it makes a lot of sense. Yeah.
Hey,
are zoanthropes.
Are they going to cost $1 million?
Gonna pour one out for the zoanthropes.
Yeah, this is meh.
I don't even know if meh is the right feeling.
They don't even have devastating wounds in their psychic attacks.
No. They're lethal hits. Woohoo.
A lot of strength on that one shot.
The warp blast, which should be the thing that should go after vehicles, just doesn't do enough for me to justify them. And assuming they're going to be in the 50th points, because they always like to make them overly costed, they don't seem that good. The Neuranthrope, again, goes into this unit and becomes out of being a character.
I just don't like these compared to... I'm moving on.
Yeah, I agree. They just... Gene Stealers, on the other hand.
Gene Stealers with a Broodlord giving him devastating wounds at 4 attacks apiece.
Yeah.
And you reroll wound rolls of 1.
Yep.
And if you're an objective marker, you just straight up reroll all the wounds, which should be fighting on objectives in the first place. Yep. These guys are legit. They're hitting on 2s. They also have Scout, so you're going to move them 16. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Basically, Tyranids are becoming the tentacle porn faction. I don't even know where to go with that. But I think these guys are legit. They also have Synapse now, which is a big deal. They used to just have their lone, their 10 leadership, and they didn't give it Synapse. I think that's a big deal too.
Yeah, I mean, I think they're definitely gonna see play. I actually think that's probably one of the units that because of the scout move, the broodlord, and everything else, you can do a lot of forward deploy infiltrate shenanigans with board control.
Yeah. And I think these hit hard enough. They're doing enough lethal wounds that they might have to be something you take, because you don't have that much ability to hit big armor stuff. Mm-hmm. And just having rerollable wounds, just doing some devastating wounds, is going to be a big deal.
Yep.
Again, battle shocks all over the place. I actually like these Raveners quite a bit just because of the volume. This looks like something that's going to be big. I do love, again, at the end of your opponent's turn, if this unit is not within engagement range of one or more enemy models, you can just put this bad boys back in strat reserve. That's huge. Also, these guys have 7 attacks apiece.
And they're twin links, so they're rerolling to wound.
Right.
So when they hit, they're going to wound most of the time, especially at strength 5. They seem really solid. I can't think of a reason not to take them. Point cost being the obvious.
Oh, who do you 100% on that? Because the one thing I've learned from all the recent streams is devastating wounds is Brad's 10th edition Diet Dr. Pepper. Yeah, I'm already addicted. Yeah. But you get out of jail free card, though, because you might not have an answer. Mortal wounds are always the answer.
Yep, absolutely.
I think these guys are going to go down to points, but a unit of these dudes, 3d6, you got to figure that like just your standard 5-man unit, so you're not getting more blasts. 35 attacks, that just seems legit. You know what I mean?
Well, you got to remember, blast comes in at over 6, right? Or is it over 5?
It's everything over all the models after 5, basically. Every set of 5s.
Okay.
So, Ripper Swarms are Ripper Swarms. I thought it was...
They've got a neat little ability, but it's not anything spectacular.
Well, the problem is they are OC 0.
Yeah.
If they had OC even 1, and they have your objective controlled, you could do some shenanigans. You probably still can. And these guys are super cheap. I'll still just touch people. You know what I mean?
Yep. But then we come to the Parasite.
Hold on. I go, KR, I don't know. Strength 5, it's just the volume of attacks they have.
Yeah.
That it's a decent strength. It's just you're rolling so many dice. So, Uncle Parasite.
So, I like that you get the barbed thing as an extra attack with anti-infantry 3+. And then
it's 3 damage too. Still,
it's 3 damage. So it's if it wounds and they fail their save, it probably going to kill whatever hits. And then you get the fun of getting some rippers.
He still has the parasitic infection, where if he smokes something, you get some Ripper Swarms back. And it is nice that you just force battle shock tests again. It's going to be a big deal. The only thing so far in the Tyranid mechanic is if you have ways to auto pass or 3d6 pass and things of that nature, this army is going to feel like its special rules don't do a ton. The armies that don't have any way to get around that are going to have a hard time, because like half this codex straight up says take a battle shock test.
Yep.
I think the Moloch's a bad dude. 16 attacks.
Yeah. Seems
legit.
That seems solid. And again, one of my favorite models, my wife calls it the Jawlock, because that's what she equates it to. Terror from the Deep looks scary.
Yeah, just more immortals again. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And the thing is on a 5+, you suffer 3 mortal wounds and take a battle shock test.
Yeah.
So this dude's legit. The fact that he comes down and now it's strength 8, AP2, used to be strength 7. It's a big deal on that. I think this guy's going to be fine.
Yep. I agree. I think he's going to see play. And the fact that the strength 8 is huge.
Yeah. It's a big deal on that, because there's so much stuff on that. Is the Trigon going to see the board?
I mean, considering there's no Trigon Prime, maybe. I mean, he can come down with OC4 within 3 inches of an enemy, right? He can't charge afterwards, but he can come down in and go, I'm here.
It would be cool if he had like a big damage or just even a volume damage ranged attack. It's just I just don't care. He's shooting me 6 times with a strength 5 AP 0 damage 1 weapon. You know what I mean? Like, Cool.
If they've got one person on a back objective and you can go steal it, great. Otherwise, meh.
Yeah.
I mean, don't get me wrong, his attacks are good. You know,
He's okay.
but outside of that, eh.
Yeah. I'm scrolling past him.
Yep.
Mucilid spores.
These are interesting. The spores are interesting to me.
I like the fact that enemy units cannot start or end an advanced move within 6 inches of this unit. That doesn't sound like super strong, but it's really irritating.
Yeah.
And then, of course, they blow up. This is going to be this and the regular spore mines. I'll just do them both together here.
Yeah.
I mean, if you have ways to make these and they're free, I mean, I won multiple games with Tyranids just making spores. So,
yeah. They have some good move blocking capabilities. They're going to slow down armies that rely on advancing and getting in there quicker.
They also straight count and stuff now. They're not like this thing that doesn't make any difference. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So,
and granted, they have no OC, so they're not holding objectives, but they're getting in the way.
Yep. They just do mortals.
Yep.
And they're just annoying. I love that every model is equipped with nothing.
Nothing.
Spore mines are dumb again. Also, why does the exocrine look like the sweaty dude that's looking in the window? That is a weird face. That
is a weird picture they took of him.
Yeah,
but they didn't put the big phallic gun in the picture, so I guess it was one or the other.
I mean, this is blast heavy, so he's going to be, if he doesn't move, he's hitting on a 2. Strength 8 AP3, 3 damage, decent amount of shots.
He's reasonable.
Yeah, I don't know if he smoked some stuff with that damage 3.
Yeah. I don't know, like, his stat line's decent, right? So that's nice.
I mean, it sucks. It sucks because he seems like he's going to be fine, but he's not as cool as Spore Mines.
No, it's a good unit. It'll probably see play, always depending upon point cost. This symbiotic, his targeting thing, which I'm not going to say correctly.
Symbiotic.
Thank you. Seems good because each time friendly Tyranid units make an attack at anything that he targeted, they can reroll hit rolls of 1. It's not bad. It's good. It is what it is. Sources of rerolls they've got.
Let's talk about Biovores because they just make Spore Mines.
Yeah, or they can do some indirect devastating wounds.
Hold on, because I love everything about the Biovores just because of the fact they went, keyword, yes. Blast, devastating wounds, heavy, indirect fire. Also, they basically have heavy, so they just go, yeah, we're firing indirect at our ballistic skill because we get +1 for not moving. So, yeah, man. Also, if you don't have range with your 48-inch range, you set up your Biovores wrong. Yeah. So why are you moving? Also, blast again, extra shots. You know what I mean? The bigger thing about those extra shots is, can you key that up? I'm looking for the spores. They don't do it anymore when they miss. But I think the Biovore is legit, especially if it doesn't cost a ton. I would just like to make some spores. Yes, please.
Yeah, and just drop 3, because you're going to take these guys in 3s. I'm just going to drop 3 spores over here.
Yeah. It's big on that.
But I think shooting with him may be keyer. We'll see.
So I like this Carnifex. It's going to be 1,000% on points, but I'd love to see double Carnifex with old One Eye.
Yeah.
Woo!
I mean, I'm kind of like Devourers with Brain Leech Worms.
Also, I need to read Blistering Assault, everybody, because this seems nuts. Each time an enemy unit is selected to shoot, after the unit is shot, if any models from this unit lost 1 or more wounds as a result of that attack, this unit can just make a Blistering Assault move. Roll a d6, add 2. So d6 plus 2, and you just shimmy somewhere. That's a lot, man.
Yep. Well, keep going.
And it can be moved in with engagement range. That's big.
Yeah. And because if you do that during their turn when it comes time for selecting things, after their chargers go, you go, I'm selecting those artifacts.
Right.
And One Eye and smacking you in the face.
And they've got a decent amount of everything because they come with the Scything Talents, correct? Yep. So they're getting 4 big attacks, 2 extra attacks. I mean, this is a legit profile, man. They're doing a lot of multi-damage. It's really going to be what their points are. But if Old One Eye and these cost a decent amount, that's big, man. These guys have a 2-up save, OC3, with some serious ability to move.
And they have the anti-vehicle crushing clause that you kind of need in the army.
Yeah. I mean, Strength 12, AP3, D6 plus 1 damage. You're going to need those buffs from Old One Eye. Their weapon skill's only 4. Weapon skill and ballistic skill. But this is a decent unit. It's going to be 100% on point cost, but man, it would look thematic and it would be pretty effective, to be honest. Old One Eye plus a unit of Carnifexes. Exactly.
I really wish the unit size was 1 to 4, but that's just a me thing.
I mean, if you're going to take him in one Old One Eye, you're taking 2 of these bad boys.
Yep.
It just, this seems legit. I mean, it's just going to go down on points, but like these guys seem like for real. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So they come with a decent amount of shit. I like it. Let's talk about the Screamer Killer because this dude's a motherfucker.
I love the Screamer Killer.
8-inch move. He got slower. He's 10 right now, is he not?
Yep.
Still got his Assault Blast, which is still not a Wu-Tang cannon, ain't nothing to fuck with.
Yep.
3 plus D6 attacks, ballistic skill 4, but it's strength 8, AP2, 1 damage. That's a decent amount. He's also Synapse with it.
Well, so that's the faction.
I know the faction. I'm saying he's got, some of them just didn't. The fact that he just straight up just makes you take a battle shock test after he yells at you.
And subtracting 1 from it. Don't forget the subtracting 1. Yeah.
Uh-oh. Snakes goes, I've been drinking a drink every time they say it depends on points. Gonna be a tough night. 100%. But so many of them are like that, though, because if I could field a shit ton of these, this dude's got 10 attacks. At strength 10 AP2, 3 damage. He can single-handedly beat up on a tank. You know what I mean? It's going to depend on what else we got here.
They 100% are not shooting tanks off the board, right? You are going to get to shoot at them before they come slap you.
Oh, 1,000%. But the thing is still sitting at a 2-up save, pretty fast. You know, I actually think I like
Thomas,
this guy.
That's very much correct. The Screamer Killer is a Terminator killer. He is really good at killing them, picking them up. 3
damage. Whew. You know, it is just a buttload of attacks. That's a big deal on that. I love that. Immediately coming in. The Rex coming in with depends on points.
Depends on the points.
Also,
all right, so the Hive Guard are next on this. And this is one of the times where I want to hear Brad's take on them before I say anything.
So the Impaler Cannon's back to indirect, and it's 36 again. However, why is the Shock Cannon only 24 if it's anti-vehicle? Am I running around with this?
Yep. So this is one of the times where I can go, I like the Impaler Cannon. I know it went way down in strength, so it's not the vehicle killer, right? That's not its job. It's there to kill infantry and fire indirect. So basically it has heavy and indirect. It's just hitting on 4s. It's okay.
Well,
it does have 4 attacks.
It's 4 shots, yes. So I saw the anti-vehicle 2, and I was like, oh, this will be great. But then it was 24. You know what I mean? It's AP1. It didn't get heavy. That would have been nice if it got heavy. You know what I mean?
It just doesn't, like, it's missing a wound that says devastating wounds.
Yeah, I 100% it needs devastating wounds, but then it'd be anti-vehicle, all mortals, all the time.
Yeah, I know. It's like, oh, your vehicle? We're just, fuck that vehicle.
I do like this. If it had 36 inches, I think it would be awesome. Because I think the Impaler Cannon kind of sucks because it's only strength 5. You've already got so much anti-infantry in this Tyranid army so far that I think that you need the shock cannons on these bad boys.
I agree.
So,
and I'm pretty sure that very few of us Tyranid players have shot cannons on them.
Also,
we all have impalers.
Why do they not have devastating wounds?
I don't know.
I mean, like, a ton of these guys, like, every other faction has a billion guns with devastating wounds. Tyranids have very few.
Yep. I mean, their defensive stance is kind of nice.
Yeah. I mean, if you're sitting on objective, you're just doing Overwatch at a 4, which is nice.
They're okay. I mean, that's...
So what do I have to swap up?
And of course, Snigs, it depends on the points.
Definitely. He's just sitting there drinking the Kraken. You're going to have to switch to a rum called the Leviathan instead of the Kraken. So, this terrain effects, I don't know. T12's with a 2-up save, 16 wounds, was legit.
Yeah, agreed.
But like...
And it has -1 damage.
Right. The problem is that I want to kill tanks. I need to kill heavier things. And 2 shots is not doing it for me.
I mean, yes, it's strength 18. Yes, it's AP -4. 2d6 damage is unreliable because we know where that's going to land a lot of the times.
I mean, it's unreliable damage because of the 2d6.
Yep.
I'm also just not getting a volume of shots. You're going to miss one of those in the first place. You know what I mean? So,
well, it's heavy, right? So, I mean, if you can draw line of sight without moving.
True, but like if I have to scooch out, especially if you walk out, because you're going to hide turn 1, you're going to walk out, you're going to shoot, you're hitting on a 3. You know what I mean? Do I get a wound through and roll 2 1s and just be sad?
Yep. That is, not only is it point dependent on him, it's where your list falls.
He already does have the right thing on that. You can tell me any Tyranid model has whatever weapon, I'll say, okay, no idea what they are. I played Tyranids, no idea what any of the weapons actually... I know what the stats on the weapons are, no idea what they actually look like. I mean, Brandon, it might be. Gene Stealer's Broodlord is the anti-tank. I think I might have said something about devastating wounds once or twice.
Yeah, or 300 times.
Exactly. Tyrannocyte, depends on...
guess what? Me magnetizing all my weapons for those doesn't matter anymore.
Yeah. Hold on, Snigs. It's going to depend on the points.
100%.
But I do want to wake spores again, so it's a big deal.
I mean, I like the way they got them, so you can bring them in on turn 1, right? So that's where they're at currently. Decent, not amazing. If they're 35 points, great, awesome. If they're 100 and whatever the heck they are now, 100 points, no.
Yeah. It just doesn't come with enough juice.
It just, yes, they're T9. Yes, they have a 3+ save, but everything else about them is just, eh.
I do like the fact that you can jam just random crap in here. So you could come up with some weird things you could do. Let's go with some flyer action. Oh, look, I hate flyers with the passion of 1,000 suns.
Uh-huh.
I hope
for a while, everyone hated these.
I hope this thing is terrible and it accidentally stabs itself in its own butt with its tail. Oh, I'm sorry. Were we talking about flyers again? I love them so much.
Didn't you run Tau flyers at LVO?
Yeah, I'm an asshole.
All right, that's fine. I hate it.
Yeah.
But I'm going to run it.
I looked myself in the mirror and said, you suck so much.
So the Drool Cannon is what it is. It's a mobile flamer template to kill some light infantry. There's so many ways to kill light infantry in the Tyranid army that doesn't do much. The Stinger salvos are okay. It's just okay. The tentacles are a way to deal with vehicles with devastating wounds, but it only does 2 damage in 4 shots, so you're not...
It's the volume on anything that's anti-tank is just so low in this army.
Yeah. I mean, if they see guard across the field from them, it's going to be a rough day.
Yeah. I mean, it's just... The Harpy seems better because you can just drop spore mines again.
Yep.
So if I was going to do either one of these, I would definitely just get spore mines. It also just has more shots on everything that shoots. So,
yeah.
A little bit stronger.
As we know, Strength 9 isn't a vehicle killer anymore. I mean, it's reasonable, but it's not.
It's put it on 4s half the time, or more, 4 or 5.
Yeah. It's 5 most of the time.
Yeah. So, Harpy, I mean, these guys are legit. Wait for it, Stinks. It's going to depend on the points.
Depend on the points.
But I do want to make spore mines, so that's legit on that. Same thing with Spore Assist.
100% depends on the points with him. I think Sniggs is now under the table on the floor crying. I like that he makes the big spore.
Yeah.
Right?
He does make the... I kind of just want a volume of spores, though. I was a little disappointed at that.
Yeah, he makes one big spore. Probably because the kit comes with one big spore. That's my guess.
I mean, he does have... His weapon's fairly shit, but he does get to shoot it a ton of times if you get anywhere near it.
Yeah, you get within 24 inches of him, he's just shooting you.
True. KR's got a point. He goes, to be fair, why would they be motivated to eat tanks when biomass is available?
Thinking like GW. That's a decent response. I don't know. This doesn't feel amazing. If it was making little spores, I'd be happier.
Yeah, 100%. We finally have something that has some devastating wounds, but it's anti-psycho devastating wounds.
Yeah.
The psychophage.
So, interesting model. I think it's biostimulus aura is going to make it an auto
pain just as big. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's just a pain boy.
I think it's going to depend, again, depending on points. Maybe an auto include, especially in your horde armies, because it gives you some more durability on them.
I agree on that. He's got a lot of, and also he just has an anti-psycho 2 devastating wounds with a 2 damage weapon with d6 plus 1 shots, melee attacks. The dude's legit. I think that if he's not horribly costed, I think that he's going to be great.
Yeah, I mean, I do wish that he didn't look like a venom crawler that went Tyranid.
He looks like he got Cronenberged. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, that's fair. And his rule for feeding a frenzy is actually pretty interesting. I very much like that.
Yeah.
So
both of those are cool. It's just clunky on it.
Yeah, they're just clunky. But I do like that 6-up feel no pain aura to me feels like it's going to be important.
What do you think about these barb gaunts?
So after playing them, because we ran, Zuber and I ran, again, as I said earlier, we ran a game just trying the box set against the box set. The Marines are probably going to win that every time. But these were really interesting.
It's a subtract, man. Slowing people down is a big deal.
I mean, made his Terminators move 3 inches.
Yeah, I mean, like, these guys do it for free. This is a strat. Yeah. It just happens.
Yeah.
So I can see myself just, like, doing a couple solos of these guys and just firing. The only thing is, it sucks is they have d6 shots, so it's very random. You know what I mean? But,
if you were looking at a unit of 10, right? Let's just say you run a unit of 10. I'm going to shoot 2 here, 2 there, 2 here, 2 there. Your entire army's moving slower.
Yeah, I mean, they've got heavy, so they're going to be hitting on 4s, even with the indirect. And
they're not indirect.
Oh, they aren't indirect. I thought they were indirect.
So you're going to be lining them up to shoot, and they're going to be hitting on 3s.
Yeah. Meh. It's only 24-inch range. They've got a really cool amount of rules, but that gun, 24-inch range is tough.
I think they're gonna see play. I think you're gonna run 1, maybe 2 units of them. And again,
I think that the auto hit, it's just gonna be, you're gonna get that off, and then your opponent's gonna just kill the shit out of them because you just don't want it happening again.
Great.
Thomas got the same thing. He goes, power against your money. You basically, make your opponent -2 to move and everything else, and then you drop some spore mines right on top of them. Yep. So you're really screwing that up.
Yeah, and then they can't advance. It really does. I think they have a lot of potential. I think there's some synergies in here with them that are really.
That's what I'm saying, though. I'd like to run some solos, though, because I see myself running these guys out, shooting, screwing with my opponent's movement, and then they just get murdered because it's only 24 inches.
And they do also have 2 wounds apiece, which doesn't sound impressive, but it gives them some more power.
I mean, I like these guys a lot. It's just, I think that they're going to fire, be done, fire, be done, fire, be done.
We'll see.
I like them, though. And that is the end.
Yep.
I was about to say, I thought there was one after that, but there's not.
That's the end. So overall, like my first impression on reading just the data sheets without point totals, probably gonna fall in a C tier at this moment, and that's clearly not seeing anything else other than what's been spoiled by GW. They seem like they're missing some stuff. It seems like there's some synergies that aren't there that you would like to be there. When they said they were cutting down on rerolls, they clearly were talking about Tyranids because I didn't see much. That this is the one army that they went, oh no, rerolls? Sorry, they're not yours. So they're going to be I have a feeling they're going to be a little tough out the gate. They're going to be waiting for that book that comes a month or so later. But that first run down a gauntlet might be a little hard for them.
It's going to be weird because there's so many armies that are going to be screwed over by this constant battle shock test that you're putting out everywhere. They're a little bit of a one-trick pony, but that trick is going to wreck the people that it's good against, and I think it's just going to bounce against others.
Yeah, Brandon, I'm not worried about them. I think they're just going to... I think based upon what we've seen from Marines, Eldar, and a couple of the other armies, they don't seem like they've got as many synergistic things. Don't get me wrong. I think there's some, like Thomas pointed out, the 4-up save, 3-up in cover, keep them near the psychophage, for feel no pain in the venom thropes. Yeah, there's some interesting stuff you're going to be able to do. There's definitely some layers to the onion on this one where you're going to be able to pull off some stuff. But there's going to be some spots where it gets difficult.
Agreed. So, with that being said, guys, like, subscribe, help a brother out, keep the channel rocking and rolling, and I appreciate you hanging out with us on a Thursday night. You ready to dance our way out of this, bro?
I just want to say one thing before we
Hit
go.
me.
Please sign up for the Salt City GT, Syracuse, New York, July 7th through 9th, 10th edition in full effect. Please check out our website to look at our player pack. We've got some updates to that coming after this weekend when I can talk about the missions. So please keep an eye out for that. Hope to see you guys there. It's going to be a good time.
Corey's a liar. Brad said LRC maybe beats her at best. I said that about the reveal. I didn't know that they had a giant stick with 57 nails in it. I am.
Have a good night.